between.
Celebrating Black women in geekdom. This is the photo shoot that became a mini documentary and then rolled into
a photo essay.
Book that is, it's going to go beyond that even, actually.
Yeah, and it has to, because what we found out in just trying to plan a photo shoot, there was so much more to tell.
And that's just because we are so much more than a picture can capture.
Yeah.
So we even tried to do that with the pictures.
We
multifaceted pictures.
Yes. Yeah, trying to reflect that there is more than one side to us, that there is more than one entity that we express.
It's just more. We are more than what you see. You know what? I chose people who were interesting to me. These are people who I engaged with and interacted with in various ways, just, being out in convention culture, cosplay culture, whatever you want to call it, just being out in the convention circuit. And they were fascinating to me. And I wanted to know more about them. And I figured that if I wanted to know more, other people would want to know more. And I wanted to know if they wanted to share it. And they did. And that, to me, was the most surprising and enlightening part. You want to share who you are with people? I love that. Let's do it.
Right. And not only that, but these were also people that, as fascinating and as amazing as we know them to be, we didn't really see them a lot in the greater scheme of things. So it was our way to create a platform for people who normally would be, I don't know, what's the word?
Marginalized.
Looked Not over. That? Yeah.
Ignored.
Ooh.
Disengaged from. Rejected.
Made invisible.
Oh, yeah. Except it's not so much invisible as it is unacknowledged.
A willfulness to literally look your gaze and look away.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Just pretend they don't see you. They pretend they don't see you. They pretend that you don't have whatever issues that you're having, your problems, but they aren't real. They don't have to engage, so they don't. It's an act of disengagement from who we are, based solely on how we look. So much of this was just, I want to know other people's stories. I want to know why they want to do this, why they do this. And I want to find people who are willing to share that. And fortunately, we did. We found 12 women who were willing to share that with us. And I cannot express enough how much I appreciate that and appreciate their willingness to be vulnerable for this.
Thank you so much, guys. We love you. Don't do something because you feel like people are going to accept you more, be more. Don't do something seeking the approval of people. Do something that you want to do because you want to do it, not because, oh, well, if I do this, then I'll get brownie points for this. Don't do that. Do it because you want to, not because somebody else expects you to, or because of how someone might think that, oh, I think you should do this character because you look like them, or just do something because you want. You can't live off of other people's expectations. That will not sustain you.
Wow.
If I'm feeling particularly ugly on a certain day and I just hate everything about me, like, I'll just throw on that makeup, put on some cosplay, and I'm just like, it actually, in a way, even though you're dressing up as a different character or a different person, it would boost up my confidence. Like, well, I can do this too. What I would like to tell you, or like to end this with, like, all those people you see on Instagram, all those people you see and they're like gorgeous and like they stand tall and confident, like, you can do it too.
Instagram, if I could tell you to do anything, it's keep doing what you're doing. Keep broadcasting. Keep putting out
that beautiful, unique, lovely content, no matter what you're doing, because someone needs to hear it, someone needs to see it, someone needs to be inspired by it, and you are doing that. No matter how many followers you could have 300, 3,000, 30,000. Just keep reaching your audience and keep broadcasting that beauty, because I want to see it. If no one else wants to see it, I want to see it. And I know that there's so many more that do.
If you want to be an artist and if you want to get into comics, the thing that you need most is a passion or a need to share your story and share the stories that are going through your head. A big part of creating content is just revealing worlds and images that pop up in your head, and you gotta be. It doesn't matter how good you are right now or how good you are in the future, as long as you are doing everything you can to share your image and share your vision with people. You're in the right direction.
You might as well live your geek out loud, because somebody's always going to disapprove of you, whatever you do, especially if you're a black woman or a black femme. People are always going to say you're too light, you're too dark, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're a fake geek, you're too geeky. Somebody's always going to have something to say about what you do and what you are and what you like. So I feel like in order to be happy, you have to do exactly what you want to do and not let anybody else dictate what you want.
As an artist and a cosplayer and all these different things, and a public speaker, it's important to own who you are before you really present it to other people, because if you don't know who you are, you get nervous. You don't know what you're gonna say. You don't know how to articulate as well as if you really are just okay with yourself. If you really learn to love yourself, then that's when you'll be able to project that love onto other people, and people will love you for it.
Attention all Oreos, as they tend to call us. It's okay. Just do whatever you want to do. Because in the end, it's going to be all right. You're going to have friends. You're going to have people. You're going to have that safe space where you can express yourself and not feel like you're being ostracized or being criticized. You may feel like you are weird or you're a stranger, that nobody else really understands you or has your same interests, but there are people out there. You may not have met them yet, but they're going to come to you. When they do, they're going to be your best friends.
If you're a black geek, you are not alone. Just be yourself. I promise you, there is so many people out there who are just like you, who think that they're alone. But if we all reach out, if we all make a difference, and we all say, hey, I'm here and you're going to look at me, I promise you, more people will be inspired to come forward as well. And there won't be as little as of us as everyone thinks.
Well, one, there's always gonna be people who will have something to say, and you're just gonna have to be like, hey, they don't matter. They don't benefit me in any way. They're not supporting me, so that's out the door. Second thing I want people to know is, even though the character may not look like you, still cosplay them. Still look up to them. They still can help you in a certain way or any way. And the third thing I want people like geeks to know is that this is all for fun. Just have fun with it and be yourself.
So the important thing is
that you're doing something that you love. That is the most important thing. Keep going. You're going to be so great. You're going to do so well. You're going to be amazing.
Instagram. My advice to you, if you're wanting to get into cosplay and you're kind of scared or hesitant, just dive in. There's no like easy way to really do it. There's no guarantee of your outcome will be this. Your first time might be terrible, but it's so much fun. Once you get into it, once you find that thing, that something that keeps you going and makes you want to stay up till 3 a.m. sewing and resewing and then taking it apart and resewing, that's when it's worth it and that's when it's fun. And don't let potential problems or potential negativity keep you from that.
I want people in geek culture to see me as strong, unapologetic, and definitely African American, because so many of us have to struggle with either being black or nerdy or just being both, but like still hiding it kind of. But I want people to really just see me as not necessarily everything, but definitely still the same girl twerking in the club, and also the same girl who will sit down with the manga and read it for like 4 to 5 hours. Like, I want people to see that it's not impossible to be a nerdy woman of color.
So you're probably wondering what's next.
Right.
So this was just part of 28 Days of Black Cosplay, and we specifically did it for, this month, February 2019.
Right. Just a picture, one picture, and then just a little 1-minute spot on Instagram where they get to speak to you.
And so this part 2 of that is it's going to be curated into a mini documentary, because to be honest, none of the participants can actually be encapsulated in a minute, not even close, not even the picture and the minute. So you're going to get to meet all of them and get to know them a lot better.
Also, I took a whole bunch more pictures.
A whole bunch more pictures.
A whole bunch more pictures. And I want to share that in a form where it's more digestible, where you'll be able to come back to it. But not only that, I wanted that to also happen while we also explore the narrative of our involvement in creating this.
Exactly. It's we don't realize how much of what it is that we decide to present to people is a curation of our own experiences and perceptions and how we want to be seen. And so we're going to be exploring that, as well as other topics that kind of came out during the interviews. Yeah. And so you'll get to see kind of in the minds of the creators.
Yeah. Yeah. For example, as a photographer, one of the things that got really exposed for me was the idea that for the most part, we are considered invisible. And yet there is so much that we do in curating an image, or possibly can do to curate an image.
Yes.
Where we can control perception on the back end.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk about the choices that I made, the choices that I didn't make, and then even how being in session with somebody changes what you do.
By a lot. Because when we went in, like, we knew what the end product we wanted to be was, but then there were some things that didn't fit into that for reasons that had to do with how we engage with the participants. And so it changed the project. It evolved.
And we needed a space to actually show that. So it was more than just the 28 Days of Black Cosplay. It ended up also being the documentary, and it'll be a companion book.
So keep an eye out, sign up for our email list, and you'll be able to know when things are rolling out.
Yeah, and please join us, join the conversation. We want you to hear yourself possibly in this, or if this is not who you are, to see people that maybe you've never seen before, to think about things that you haven't thought about.
Yeah, and basically open yourself up to the possibility of simultaneous realities. It's a thing.
Yeah, and the space between all of us.